Welcome to part 1 of our 3-part series, Peace Pilgrim, Walking Towards a Peaceful World. Through life, we are fortunate to encounter admirable souls who inspire others simply with their saint-like qualities. One such individual was Peace Pilgrim, who became a proselytizer for nonviolence in an era that did not subscribe to her views. Walking on foot across the United States 7 times over a span of 28 years, she endeavored to encourage others to pursue their own inner peace. She knew that by creating a grassroots passive movement, the country would collectively shift towards peaceful living.
I am a pilgrim, a wanderer. And a pilgrim is a wanderer with a purpose. A pilgrimage can be to a place or for a thing. And my pilgrimage is for a thing. My pilgrimage is for peace.
Born on July 18, 1908, with the birth name Mildred Lissett Norman, Peace Pilgrim grew up in Egg Harbor, New Jersey, USA. In later years, while giving presentations to classes, she described a childhood filled with nature and much love and support from family and friends.
I was born on a small farm on the outskirts of a small town. I had a woods to play in and a creek to swim in and room to grow.
Mildred was not brought up with any specific religion. In time, she came to the conclusion that what everyone referred to as God was actually present in everyone and everything. If she had a question that required guidance, Mildred would go for a reflective walk and receive an answer after a night's sleep. In time, she leaned on the biblical golden rule: do unto others as you would have them do unto you. In high school, Mildred changed it to a personal mantra, saying, if you want to make friends, you must be friendly. As an adult, Mildred discovered that earning a living and spending money, while easy enough, did not provide the satisfaction she longed for. Mildred noticed how some in society lived in luxury, while many others barely got by. She became aware of the conflicting message in our society. The people around her emphasized being loving and kind to those in need, while the media declared it perfectly acceptable to harm others during wartime activities. These inner conflicts finally resulted in one of her reflective walks that lasted an entire night, and concluded with prayer in a meadow. Mildred tried to understand why people are on this planet and pleaded with God for guidance. She was so upset, feeling compassion for all of the people around the globe, suffering and losing their lives. The world she saw was filled with war, scarcity, and discord. Mildred wanted to be useful and help the less fortunate. Please use me. Please show me what you want me to do, she cried. She became filled with a deep inner sense of calm that she had never known before. Mildred Ryder knew at that moment that she could never go back to just living for her individual self, and so began the next phase of her journey. We're going for a short stroll to ponder our own life choices in an effort to enhance the greater good. We'll be right back here on Supreme Master Television. Welcome back to our Peace Pilgrim, Walking Towards a Peaceful World, Part 1 of 3. Mildred Ryder, the soon-to-be Peace Pilgrim, had begun her transition from American householder to peace activist. After her inner experience of blissful peace during an all-night vigil, she knew it was time to begin what she later referred to as a purification process. Mildred simplified her life, quit her job, and lived on her savings. Having given away most of her possessions, Mildred lived by very modest means and began volunteering at hospitals and nursing homes. She would spend her days talking to and helping the underprivileged around her. She began to experience love in a new way. To complement her new focus, this future peace advocate also enjoyed extensive hikes, helping in youth centers, and most importantly, working with non-violence groups. In 1952, she became the first woman to walk the entire 2,050-mile Appalachian Trail on the American East Coast in one season. Mildred also became a vegetarian. During a hike while looking at her lunch, she realized that she was breaking one of her own self-imposed guidelines. She would never take an animal's life for a meal, so she refused to allow anyone else to do it for her. From then on, she always viewed our planetary co-inhabitants with an empathetic eye. As written in Peace Pilgrim, Her Life and Work, in her own words, she explained,
"The difficulty is, we have not learned to stop killing each other yet. That's our present lesson, not to kill each other. To learn the lesson of sharing and the lesson of non-killing of man by man. The lesson of non-killing of creatures is a little bit into the future, though those of us who know better need to live up to our highest light."
Peace Pilgrim began to address her thought processes along with her motives for actions. She could see how even an unkind thought towards another person could be harmful. She learned to forgive as well as be forgiven. Mildred reflected on whether her motives for a deed were pure. Was she being kind? Was she selflessly loving? During her work with pacifist groups, she was elected by her peers to be their representative in Washington, D.C. Mildred was so excited of the prospect of being a liaison of nonviolence. However, it soon became apparent that the high-ranking politicians were only interested in war-based thinking. It dawned on her that the time had come to reach out and expand her mission. She knew that people were inherently good and needed someone to awaken them to their own higher, peaceful nature. This would have to happen on an individual level, somehow. Finally, on a hike through Northeast America, the vision of a future pilgrimage appeared.
I saw in my mind's eye myself walking along and wearing the garb of my mission. I saw a map of the United States with the large cities marked, and it was as though someone had taken a colored crayon and marked a zigzag line across coast to coast, border to border, from Los Angeles to New York City. I knew what I was to do. I entered a new and wonderful world. My life was blessed with a meaningful purpose.
In 1950, while the U.S. was undergoing trying times of conflict, Mildred knew that she had been called to bring the light of peaceful thinking into the lives of the American people. So with the last of her money, she created a blue tunic to wear and printed copies of her message to the masses. From this moment on, this would be her only outfit. Her new identity, Peace Pilgrim, was printed in bold letters on the front, and 25,000 miles on foot for world peace was embossed on the back. On January 1st, 1953, she stepped out on the streets of a parade in Pasadena, California, ready to begin her mission of peace. Mildred Lissett Norman officially left her name and former identity behind, and took her new name, Peace Pilgrim.
She took a vow to walk penniless until mankind had learned peace.
This is a real pilgrimage. It's actually a journey on foot. I don't hitchhike. I walk in spite of all the rides that are offered, and on faith. I took a vow at the beginning that I would remain a wanderer until mankind has learned the way of peace, walking until I am given shelter, and fasting until I am given food. And although I have never asked for anything, I can truthfully say that I have been supplied.
What a beautiful and exciting story. We admire the strength and compassion of Peace Pilgrim, leaving all attachments behind and solely depend on the divine to guide and support such a noble mission. For more information on Peace Pilgrim, please visit peacepilgrim.org. Noble viewers, it's been a pleasure to have you with us today. Join us again on Sunday, July 21st for part 2 of Peace Pilgrim, Walking Towards a Peaceful World.